man. Are they keeping them off the street? I guess not, huh?
No. We'll let them do their thing.
That's good.
They have those asshole marshals in front of them.
I know. There's always something. You know what? There's some really fuckers there going.
Give them all out. I'm just trying to work.
Yeah, they got this guy because I was on the guy's face. He was put the other guy. And you're going to stand the time to benefit. He's one guy.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's one guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Well, that's what I'm doing. It's just one guy. That's the whole shot. You get it? One guy and you guys around him. That's the shot.
That's right.
Oh,
Do it for 5 seconds. Just relax.
oh yeah. And they were like furious, man. I mean, vicious and furious.
Oh,
We're all words and everything.
a few years ago, I did the Climate March in New York, and a woman marshal, knocked me into a barricade. It's like, I'm not moving, and I'm not doing anything.
I'm going to be closer,
Yeah.
watch it. Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're forcing him into the.
Yeah. But I don't
That's good. Well, yeah, I mean, that's good that you called me. So, yeah, you can study up anything you want. It's just not good. I know that they can call me, or they can call me and tell me, too, because I mean, you know, I just can't be punched up steady all the time. You're walking and, I'm exhausted. Yeah. Okay, so whenever they want to stay shot, I'm ready for it.
Move to your left, out of the lane, out of the lane.
The best shot is when I get in the middle of the crowd and I'm walking with them. Okay?
Out of the lane! Out of the lane!
All right, you know, Jennifer just going to hurt it. All right, I'll hold it steady, okay? Watch it, watch it.
Stay low, stay clear. Welcome here. 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 Stay low, stay clear. Kavanaugh's not welcome here. Stay low, stay clear. Kavanaugh's not welcome here. Stay low, welcome here. Kavanaugh's not welcome here. Kavanaugh's not welcome here. Stay low, stay We're trying to help y'all get great pictures, but you got to keep moving. Come on, work with us. Come on, friends here.
We believe Anita help. We believe Anita help. We believe Anita help. We believe Christine Ford. We believe Anita help. We believe Christine Ford. We believe Anita help. We believe Christine Ford.
All we want to do is run the base. Excuse me. Reject it, guys. Reject it. All this is about. Stand up for America. That's such an asshole, too. Almost ran me over.
We believe.
We believe Christine Ford. We believe Christine Ford. Get on the sidewalk.
We believe Christine Ford. We believe Anita help. 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 Come on. Was it just before us? Well, that's all personal.
I'm not going to just perch myself here.
Hey, Lisa. So I've got this stacked battery that's one draining battery with a full battery on the back of it, although it doesn't seem to be flipping over to the new battery. So I need to come down just long enough to swap that good battery on there. Okay. Okay, I'll wait till you're where. Okay, I'm back up, and you should. I'm gonna turn my camera from this way.
So thank you for folks who are already here. We are waiting for the fabulous marchers who have just walked from the courthouse, the district courthouse, to the Supreme Court. You are going to be very impressed with all of your fellow Americans who have walked in the dead heat to make sure that their voices are heard in their opposition to Kavanaugh. You can just see them if you turn around. Beautiful people, black, white, Asian American, Pacific Islanders, Muslim, Jews, Christians, people of no faith, people from California to New York City, from Chicago to Texas, Florida, Maine, Alaska, West Virginia are in the house. Give it up to your marchers who have been here since 9 o'clock this morning getting trained in direct action. They have marched on our streets, our taxpayer-funded streets. You can turn around and be inspired. Women, children, intergenerational, intersectional. I want y'all to move on in this way and give an opportunity for these marchers to come in. We probably are going to be shutting down the entire area here, so folks over here can move on down around this way and give space to your fellow marchers. They're hot, they're thirsty, but they are very fired up.
truthful. Stop lying. God bless Trump. God bless Trump.
God bless Trump.
I'm not the one that loves America. I'm the one that loves America.
And we vote, and these people vote.
People are trying to
Okay, on the line.
Yes, yes. Using God bless you. God bless you. I love you, man. I love you. I love you. Reject the lies of left.
Yeah, I mean, I asked her not to hold signs up.
I'm playing with you.
Love assholes.
This is the riser, and it's for their
She
camera.
acts like she's standing for women. What is Islam do for women?
So anyone who stands here with a sign is like,
Islam rapes women. Islam beats women. It puts the cover. It's the truth.
Please, if you are in this in front of the stage, keep banners down.
She's taken away from women. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I'm trying to be nice. I've been trying to be nice. I'm actually no, you don't. I just told you.
I told him we were with the media and we're trying to cross the
There you go. There it is right there. Yes, sir. Help him on the floor. You're really tall. A little more.
Is there a Laura O'Grady in this crowd? Laura O'Grady. Is that you, Laura? Did you find Laura? I need Laura over here. Oh, did you find another Laura?
you got a selfie stick.
Is that you, Laura? Is that Laura? Laura O'Grady? I think I have something that you might want. I'm just saying, it sounded pretty important. You're welcome, Laura. All right, where is Milk? You ready to go? I'm not even going to introduce you to that.
That oppressive women. It's the most oppressive.
Appreciate it.
Hi, Thomas Harlan at SCOTUS. Can you please give me
Come on, man.
Can we get the quiet, I Can't Keep Quiet singers up to the microphones now? Can you guys move forward? Thank you. Let's get the I Can't Keep Quiet singers up forward. Hello. First off, thank you for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause. When I say, who do we believe? Can you say, we believe survivors? Yeah? You can do that? Who do we believe? Who do we believe? One last time. Give it all you got. Who do we believe? Today, I hear within me that same rumbling roar of rage that I felt as I listened to the backwards jargon about pussy grabbing during the 2016 election campaign. Today, I hear within me that same rumbling roar of rage when I finally realized that the sexual assault that happened to me when I was 14 years old was not my fault. It took me over 10 years to reverse the slut-shaming and self-blaming. I finally realized that there was nothing inherently wrong with me and that I have the right to respectfully free myself from the silence, just as Dr. Christine Ford so bravely did for us last week. My name is Connie Lim, also known as Milk, a Los Angeles-based musician and social change artist. Thank you to all the organizations and people who work so tirelessly to make things like this happen. I am so honored here to bring us together in song and harmony. The song that I would like to lead us in is called Quiet. It was a song that I wrote for myself as a woman of color, as a sexual assault survivor, and as a woman who is done with wearing the patriarchal chains that this current administration is failing to free us from. But we are not victims waiting for anyone to free us. We are survivors ripping the chains off with our own two hands. We are men and women and genders in between advocates who are helping to rip off those chains by speaking our truth, despite those who fail to respect us and those who even choose to mock us. Because when one of us is being mocked, all of us are being disrespected. We will not sit by quietly. So yes, let us rip those chains off by rising in defiant harmony. We have, okay. So to inspire us as we sing together today, I want to bring 8 survivors who have traveled a great literal and figurative space and distance to share space with you today.
Thank you. My name is Brett Kavanaugh. I'm a criminal defense attorney. I'm a musician, I'm a performance artist, and I'm a community organizer, and I'm a rape survivor. I'm here from Maine. Senator Collins, do you believe survivors are important? Believe survivors. Believe me.
I'm Maggie Risbera. I'm an aunt, I'm a daughter, and I'm a sister, and I'm a rape survivor from Maine. Senator Collins, do you believe survivors matter? Believe me. Believe us.
What does that have to do with Kavanaugh? Yeah, but Kavanaugh hasn't done anything to anyone.
Big crowd. My name is Gabrielle Graham. I am a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I am a physician. I am a rape survivor. I'm from Maine. Senator Collins, do you think survivors matter? Believe me, believe survivors.
My name is Stephanie Kingsline. I'm a mother of 3. I'm an independent. And I'm a rape survivor. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska. And I just want to know, Senator Murkowski, do you believe and think that survivors matter? Believe me. Believe us. Believe survivors.
My name is Faith Christ. I am from Eagle River, Alaska. I am a mother of 2. Senator Murkowski, do you believe us? You better believe us. You better believe the survivors.
My name is Joel Dolphin. I'm a father, a husband, an Army veteran, a police officer, and I'm an independent, and I am a rape survivor. I am from Alaska. Senator Murkowski, do you believe survivors matter? Believe me, believe survivors.
My name is Teresa, and I'm a proud mom, and I'm a sexual assault survivor. I'm from Arizona, Flake, do you believe that survivors matter? Believe me and believe us.
My name is Tennille. I'm a dog mom, an aunt, a sister, and a friend. And I am a recent sexual assault survivor. And I am also from Arizona. Senator Flake, do you believe us? Do you believe survivors? Believe survivors.
We've gotten messages from many different survivors asking us to sing for them, speak for them. I have here Ari Asar, actor, activist, and member of the original Hamilton Chicago cast, my dear friend who has something to say for someone on behalf of someone really important to her.
After a lifetime of silence, my mother has given me her blessing to sing on her behalf. She was sexually assaulted in her 20s at her place of work. The society of that time did not provide the support or a safe space, and she never came forward. She is the strongest, most resilient, most badass woman I have ever known. Dr. Ford is another strong, resilient, brave, and bold woman who has come forward. And this time, we demand society to give her the respect. So many women don't feel safe and never come forward with their trauma, and their experiences are unimaginable. Actions, not words, tell us who Brett Kavanaugh is. And those actions tell us clearly that he does not belong on our nation's highest court. We saw him act out with belligerence, hostility, and biasm. And when we think about the Supreme Court and when we think about model citizens and role models, they are not those who display those actions. This is one of the most important jobs in this country. So my mom's story doesn't have to become the story of our country. We urge you to say no so that this country does not become unlistenable when women speak up.
Feel free to sing along, guys. Can we get more volume on this? Thank you. Put on your face, know your place. Shut up and smile, don't spread your legs. I could do that, but no one knows me, no one ever will. If I don't say something, if I just lie still, would I be that monster, scare them all away? If I let them hear what I have to say, I can't keep quiet.
Tamika Mallory, and I am co-president of the Women's March and one of the co-organizers of the Women's March on Washington of January 2017, where we made history together, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters and siblings. I have 2 minutes to speak to you, and I want to first of all take care of some business. The first thing I want to do is get all of you who traveled here to really give the biggest round of applause that you can to the Women's March organizers and CPD and all the other organizations who are staying up day and night. People haven't slept since September 4th. So many people showed up in the last 2 weeks. And we're glad to see you. We need that. But we needed to also be clear that some of us knew Brett Kavanaugh was no good when Donald Trump first spoke his name. And we've been here since the beginning. And everybody is going to come forward. I am also a survivor. I won't tell you my story today because there are other stories that will be centered. And you will hear so many people come forward giving you the plan, where we got to go, what we have to do. I just want to tell you one thing, and I had a whole planned speech, and it was all thrown out this morning while I was on the train, and I read my good friend Amber Goodwin, who is in the gun violence movement. I read a Facebook post from her, and she said, you can take feminism and shove it up your behind, because she watched behind Donald Trump when he was mocking Christine Ford, when he was mocking her, there were people laughing. There were people laughing. And you know, I'm the resident check white women person in the Women's March. So let me tell you who was laughing. White women were standing there laughing with their white husbands. White women were laughing. So let me explain to you what I mean by that, because I know those white women are not standing here with us today. It means that 94% of black women went to the polls for Hillary Clinton, someone who looks like you. Your people did not show up. We got this. Black women are in control, and we got this. We need you to go back home and get your cousins and your sisters and your mama and the people in your community. Don't worry about telling us what we need to do. You have work to do, ladies and gentlemen. Get your people. As we go towards the midterm elections, if someone in your family even remotely seems like they may go the wrong way, you need to make sure that you turn up on them at the dinner table. Do not allow people to be comfortable around you supporting racists and bigots. It is not okay. And I will say this because I'm really going to keep to my time, because Linda Sarsour and Winnie Wong, they beast. If I go over my 2 minutes, I'm going to be in trouble. So let me say this last thing to you. In 2017, we started building something together. We said, since November of 2016, that when women of color joined the Women's March, we were going to join it and we were going to flip what feminism looks like. And what hurt me was when I saw my friend Amber Goodwin's post today, I knew where she was coming from. But I don't want her to send feminism away. I don't want her to feel that way. So I want us to tell Amber Goodwin, wherever she is, that this feminism movement is for everyone, and we are going to make a change. Let us not allow people to be discouraged. Let them not say that this is the same as it was before. We are not the same. We are outraged. We are turned up, and we will not turn back. We started together, and we are going together, ladies and gentlemen and siblings, forward together, backward never.
Give it up for Tamika Mallory from the Women's March. She just told you that and reminded you that we made history back on January 21st of 2017 in the largest single-day demonstration in American history. And if you haven't heard already, if the news hasn't hit your feed yet, Women's March going back out in the streets on January 19, 2019. Get your tickets, book your buses, get your trains, because we were not a one-hit wonder. We're coming back bigger and more impactful than ever before. January 19, 2019. Next up, we have my sister. I've been organizing with her for 15 years. She is the woman that stopped Jeff Flake in the elevator, told her story. She's the co-director of the Center for Popular Democracy Action. Give it up to Ana Maria Archila.
Yes, we can. So listen, today the mother in me is still raging. Today the mother in me is still unwilling to be quiet. Is still unwilling to be nice. Is still unwilling to be pretty and be shut up. No. No way. No way. What happened in that elevator was the result of thousands and thousands of women, survivors, and survivors of all genders who are doing something incredibly dangerous and incredibly generous. What we are doing with our stories is weaving a fabric that can be a mirror for this country, allowing our pain to be in service of transformation. We have an opportunity right now, in this moment. Senator Flake has an opportunity, Senator Murkowski has an opportunity, Senator Collins has an opportunity, Senator Manchin, Democrat, but we're watching, has an opportunity to say, I will not continue to affirm the culture that believes and values men above women. That's really it. That's what it comes down to. They can in this moment model a different behavior. They can say, I may not have all the facts. I certainly wasn't there. I'm not sure exactly that the story is coherent. But what I do know is that I have heard through this process of storytelling, of coming out of the shadows, of coming out of the pain, I have heard that violence against women is at the core of who we are today. I have heard that through the stories, maybe with some holes in the facts. Maybe because when you're traumatized, you can't actually remember everything. Because when it's happening to you, what you remember is not the date or the address. You don't remember the details of the room. You remember what it felt like. And you know, that's why survivors, when we hear Dr. Ford's story, we know. We know. We know. And they know. And they know. And they're scared because they know they have seen it happen before. They know they maybe have been in those rooms. They know they may have more in common with Brett Kavanaugh than they're willing to say. So listen. But this moment is not the moment of one story or two stories. The story is a story of us, of so many people that are organizing, that are doing things that are incredibly scary for us. Telling our story is incredibly scary. Protesting is sometimes scary. Taking direct action is sometimes scary. And we're doing it. We're overcoming our fear and our pain and our rage to give this country an opportunity to be different. That's what this nomination is about. That's what it is. So let me tell you,
He knows. He knows. He knows. Manchin knows. Collins knows. Murkowski knows. All of them know. The FBI investigation is important because the country deserves a process that's rigorous, that's responsible. But what the country really needs is a democracy that works for us. That's what we need. So what we're doing today with our voices, with our stories, with our protests, with our sittings, what we're doing today is breathing life into a democracy. So that democracy is about us, and it's not owned by those very few that have so much money. That's what we're doing today. And what Brett Kavanaugh, the reason why they want him so much, is not just because he believes.
Against Judge Kavanaugh that sticks. And you can believe they've tried. Boy, can you believe they've tried. This has been the worst example of the Washington smear machine that I've seen in all my 42 years of Senate service. So we're left back where we were before this whole sordid saga began. Judge Kavanaugh is eminently qualified, unquestionably qualified, to serve on our nation's highest court. He is among the most distinguished, influential judges in the entire country. His opinions have received widespread acclaim and have won approval by the Supreme Court on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions. The American Bar Association interviewed more than 100 fellow judges and lawyers who know Judge Kavanaugh and who have appeared before him, and they all spoke with virtual unanimity in praising his integrity, his work product, and his judicial temperament. As somebody who tried cases in federal court, I would have been happy to have had Judge Kavanaugh, who I know would give a fair shake to both sides. He's the kind of a judge I would have admired in every way, and I do. But I would have admired him in every way as a practicing trial lawyer who had quite significant experience. I hold the highest rating, the AV rating from Martindale-Hubbell, which is the rating service that rates attorneys without their knowledge by going to other top lawyers in their areas. And I've had that highest rating in 2 states, in Pennsylvania and in Utah. So I take these matters very seriously. I believe in the federal courts. I think they do a terrific job in this country. I have nothing but admiration for them. There are very few exceptions. And I think it's just a terrible, ridiculous problem that has arisen here because people are playing politics with this judge and this judgeship. I'm sorry that Judge Kavanaugh has had to go through this ordeal. He did not deserve this. He is a good man. He spent decades building a reputation of decency and fairness. His opponents have attempted to destroy it with 3 weeks of smut and unsubstantiated allegations. It makes me sick to see this type of stuff. It certainly does when some of my colleagues buy into it, which they shouldn't. They should not. But I know Brett Kavanaugh. I know him well. He's a man of great resilience and firm conviction. He is going to be a great justice, perhaps one of the greatest we've ever had. He will bring to the Supreme Court the integrity, honor, and intellectual rigor he has demonstrated throughout his entire career. And soon enough, he will have rebuilt his reputation. He will earn the respect of his colleagues and the American people through his writings and his decisions. Of that I have no doubt. Mr. President, I will vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh. He is unquestionably qualified. He has gone through the most thorough vetting process I've ever seen. And it's been a miserable, wretched process in some respects. But he's come through. And we'd all give him credit for that. Hundreds of thousands of documents produced, 5 days of hearings, 7 FBI background checks. We know what we need to know. The American people know what they need to know. It's time to vote. It's time to confirm this good man to the United States Supreme Court. And I hope this body will get to that decision-making process as soon as it can. It's time to end this charade. It's time to back this really good man. And I predict he'll make one of the great justices on the United States Supreme Court. And I'm grateful to my colleagues who have given him the benefit of the doubt and who know him and know that these things are not true. And I'm grateful for the privilege of serving in the United States Senate. I'd sure hate to end my service.
Intensity she was too young to understand. She was 5. She is now 7. She sits and plays with bubbles on the floor. She watches adults talk about dinner. She watches them leave. Probably part of her leaves with them too. She continues to play and gets told it's time for nap. She follows. In the opening of the bedroom, there's a playpen. A playpen not meant for children under the age of 3. She got comfort in the playpen and she didn't know why. She laid in the playpen with her eyes shut. She closed them so hard that not photographed she had company. King-size bed with blue sheets, king-size bed with blue sheets in the undressed body of a child. She laid there undressed, alone, and confused. The adults are home now. They eat, they go home. She's home, only she's not. She cries in her room thinking about the puzzle that was left unfinished, thinking about why she wasn't good enough. She was 7. She was me. My name is Daisy Ornelas, and I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona. I came all the way here to D.C. because I know what it's like to break their silence and then have to see your abuser live their life without consequences. This is the first time I am publicly sharing my story. Love you, Daisy! And being someone who was trying to capitalize from their experience. However, I was given the support I never expected. A professor of mine told me to keep talking even if my voice shakes, and to fight like hell. I become the attorney I have dreamt of since the age of 7. The mere idea of being a voice for others ignites a fire in me. But let it not be mistaken. The fire ignited in me is for justice and not revenge. Justice for all of us. And watching what is happening in this country, as women come forward and tell their stories, they are doubted, questioned, and dismissed. As senators vote to confirm Brett Kavanaugh, they are telling survivors that we do not matter, that our trauma can be swept under the rug. If they vote to confirm Brett Kavanaugh, young people like me will face consequences for generations, as he rules against the right to abortion, access to health care, and so much more. The world we want is not the world built by Brett Kavanaugh's vote on the Supreme Court. I am here because I believe that together we can be big enough and loud enough that they cannot look away. Together, as young people, we will protect our future from Brett Kavanaugh and stand with survivors. Together, we will march to Senate offices and demand to be heard. And I have one question for Senator Flake, and it's, do you believe me? Thank you so much for your support. We believe you, Daisy.
Next up, I want to introduce to you a leader in the women's rights movement and a leader of a very important organization that's been fighting for women's access to health care and reproductive rights. Please give it up to Elise Hogue, Executive Director and President of NARAL Pro-Choice America.
I'm honored by the stories. I'm honored by the sisterhood of Linda, of Tanika, of Bob, and of all of you from whom I million members nationwide on this day. We stood on these steps the night that Brett Kavanaugh was nominated because we know that a man who seeks to dominate a woman's body in one way will seek to dominate it in all ways. We know that the truth lives in each of our hearts, in each of our visions, in each of our passion. And the reason that we are still here today is because of every single one of you willing to bare your souls. The pain powers us. The pain has powered us every time they said this fight is done. And we have lived to fight another day. The vision for justice and equality and agency and autonomy for women has given us the vision and the willingness to not believe those who would silence us. And we are here today on the precipice. And make no mistake, no matter how this vote goes, that ideology of dominance and patriarchy is a dying ideology. Equality and justice and freedom and liberation will replace it, and when it does, it will free not just my daughter and our daughters, but my son from the toxicity that he sees right now. I stand with all of you in solidarity, not just today, but every day for the rest of our lives. And I'm deeply grateful. Thank you.
We are deeply grateful for you, Elise. We're close, we're close. I wanted to share some good news because I want you to know the impact that people power has. And I'm very proud to announce that Senator Heidi Heitkamp from the state of North Dakota is voting no. For the people of this country, who's been speaking up against sexual assault and sexual violence before there was a Brett Kavanaugh. Please give it up to the senator from the greatest state in the United States of America, my state, New York, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Speaking up, not giving up. I want to give a heartfelt thanks to Senator Heidi Heitkamp for her truth, for her justice, for her strength, and for her courage. This is a moment about all of you. All of you are speaking truth to power because you care about the future. You care about our children. You care about who is leading this country and who sits at the highest court in the land. I read the reports today. It was not intended to get to the bottom of this. It was not intended to find the truth. It was intended to be a cover for those who don't want to look at the truth. You've seen the news reports. You know from the news reports from their lawyers that many people who had corroborating information were not interviewed as part of this investigation. This investigation was not thorough. complete, and it did not get to the bottom of what happened and who Judge Kavanaugh is. Many people have called out to give their truth, their facts, their relevant information. We know that Judge Kavanaugh was not honest when he came to the Senate Judiciary Committee. That's right. Because he was not honest, he does not have the character or the integrity to be a Supreme Court justice. And he has shown in his decisions and in his speeches that he is not qualified to be on this court. Women's reproductive freedoms and women's reproductive rights, but he believes corporations have more important free speech rights than you and me. Have been painful. Painful for so many people, so many of us around this country, because we see so many men in power not listening to women, not believing women, not understanding why these stories matter, not believing survivors, not standing with survivors, denying survivors the right to be heard. Ms. Ramirez says she feels this investigation was trying to silence her. And so for each one of us who wants to be heard at this moment, I'm leaving you with one final thought. November is coming. Use your voice, use your vote, use every platform you have available to you to be heard, to make sure that people who are elected to represent us share our values. Please do everything you can between now and November to be heard. The moral arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice.
They cannot keep us down. We will win. A vote for Kavanaugh is a vote saying women don't matter. Let's stay together. Let's fight. Let's keep showing up.
If you already didn't know who that was, I don't know, some people may not know. That was Amy Schumer, comedian and actress, telling you and telling our senators to vote no on Kavanaugh. So we've had a lot of people from the faith community say some stuff about Kavanaugh in the interwebs and on national television, but sometimes they're not always the right people who say the right things that we agree with. So we want to make sure that we know that there are people of faith out here who stand with all of us. Many of us are people of faith. So I want you to give it up to Reverend Darcy Roque, a Universalist Unitarian minister, a clergy advisory board
the rage that allows men and other people to assault women and other individuals using their power in cruel and horrific ways and not be accountable for it. Holy rage is using our God-given emotions and channeling them to to create connections, to build community, to ask white women like myself to be accountable for our actions, to get our people. And holy rage stops elevator doors and asks people to look at us, to look at all people. We will not be invisible. And in this too, I will tell you two small parts of my own holy rage. One is that my congregants and my fellow citizens in Louisiana may not be able to access health care. And that makes me angry. But also, and truly, my holy rage comes from the fact that my husband and I worked so very hard to teach our young white son that kindness is a virtue, that respect for others is the greatest virtue of all. And now the culture is telling him as a white boy that he should not be accountable for what he does if he does something, that he should use and wield his power in enormously horrific ways. That is not what I'm teaching in my church. That is not what I'm teaching in my home. We are building connections in community. And so I must say, as people of faith and as people faithful to justice, equity, compassion, and love, we will show our rage, we will show our love and compassion and connection, not just at the voting booth, but we'll do it in our lives, in our homes, in our congregations, and in our communities. This is sacred work, and I am honored to be with all you holy, righteous, rageful, and loving people.
Good people. Dosha. I am the senior pastor of Park Avenue Christian Church, 207 years old, 206 years in, they called their first woman. And I stand here as a Christian woman who fears the Lord. And I here stand before you wondering for all those people who are lawmakers, and all those people who claim to pray to a God. This God is watching me. And if you fear the Lord, you should fear not believing women. I stand before you, representing Planned Parenthood of America. The organization to which I went as a survivor, and now serve as a volunteer clergy person in Thanksgiving.
We are here with a message. Senator Collins, in less than 2 months, 70,000 people joined me and pledged to fund your future opponent if you vote to confirm Kavanaugh. We have raised almost $2 million. And if you vote to confirm him, we are not stopping. We are coming for your Senate seat. Can you imagine how much more we will raise if she votes yes? We are coming out of the shadows. We are helping to make each other's voices heard. This moment, this movement is about all of us. This movement is for us to tell the powerful voices around us like Senator Collins, those that are used to having a disproportionate say about how our bodies work, what they are worth for them, for us to tell them and say, we matter. This is the struggle of marginalized voices everywhere in the democracy, a struggle they have fought for hundreds of years. So today we stand in solidarity with them, as we in Maine have fought back every single day since the announcement of Kavanaugh. Absolutely. We have dropped in, we have called, we have rallied, we have organized lawyers and faith leaders, and you better believe it, we've tried it. Our country is one person, one vote. And that's what Be a Hero campaign is all about. To take back our democracy from corporate power. To ask our legislators to be a hero for us. Each one of you today is a hero. So I'm asking you to continue to be one. Take a pledge. Join our campaign. Keep raising your voice. And Senator Collins, if you vote to confirm Kavanaugh, people power and money power is coming for your seat, and you better believe it.
Marie's actually a little more humble. There's been close to $1.7 million that have been raised for the opponent of Senator Collins if she does in fact confirm. And this is transparent. Be a Hero has a crowd pack funding campaign that you can all join. Next up, I want to introduce to you another sister, another faith leader who's been at the front lines of many movements, including the criminal justice reform movement. Anywhere that you need somebody with a loud voice who believes in God, she is there. Give it up for Rabbi Barat Elman from Jews for Racial and Economic Justice.
Hi. Wow, it's hot and I know everyone's tired, so I'll try to be fast. My name is Bara Elman. I'm a rabbi. I am on the Rabbinic Council of Jews for Racial and Economic Justice, an organization in New York City. I was here a month ago on the second day of the Senate hearings for Justice Kavanaugh. And I came because I was angry. I have a lot of issues with his policies, but I was particularly angry because a president who is under investigation for crimes, nominated as a Supreme Court justice, someone who believes in an executive privilege so grand that he can't be indicted, he can't be even investigated. This was a clear setup for the president to make sure he had a judge in his pocket. And I called it at that moment when I was arrested. I called out, it's a shanda. For those of you who don't know what this means, it's a Yiddish term that means it's an outrage and it's a farce. Well, I'm back here this time because we've seen even a greater outrage and farce. We have seen a man who has pretended initially to be what some people have called a polite Donald Trump show his true colors when he became a bully a surly, disrespectful, interrogated person by the Senate, rude, mean-spirited. We saw a lack of temperance that shows he is not qualified to be on any court, much less the Supreme Court. We saw a kind of conspiracy theory that shows he's not capable of judging. So this is the real Shonda. And this FBI investigation, supposed investigation, that was a real Shonda. So I want you to join with me right now in this chant. It's a Shonda. 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 Thank you very much.
I just want to recognize someone who's here today. You probably noticed this is a stage for women, led by women, but we do have some male allies who are with us today, and I want to give a special shout out to Congressman Donald Byer Jr. from Virginia's 8th District. He is the chair of the Men for Women Caucus here in Congress, and we want to say thank you, Congressman, for your allyship, and thank you very much for being with us in solidarity. We got a lot of good guys out there. I hope you know that, and many of you are here today at this march, so we appreciate that. Next up, I want to introduce Hope Giselle, who's a DC-based activist from the Allow Me movement. Welcome, Hope.
As a black woman, I am told to be quiet. As a woman, period, I am told I am invalid. And as a trans woman, I am told I don't matter. Kavanaugh wants to stop people like you, like me, no matter what we identify with on the inside. Anybody that says that they are a woman and proud of it, Kavanaugh says no. Kavanaugh says nah. Kavanaugh says stop where you are, because any story that you can tell on me, I'm going to be able to get off, get over, and get by, because I have what we like to call a penis. I stand here today as somebody who has been through transgressions on all three fronts. And I want to say that I stand with all women. You are my sisters, no matter the road that we took to get here. We are all women. We are all we should all be believed. And anyone that votes for Kavanaugh is saying that we don't matter. And is that true? No. I don't think so. So when you go out to vote, think about the people that you look at every day. Think about your daughters and ask them if you would want somebody to grab them by their genitals and ask how you would feel. Think about somebody telling your wife who was beaten and raped in an alleyway that what she feels doesn't matter, or it's not justified, because you as a man feel like it was a mistake and you just don't remember what happened. As women, we have to stand up for each other. And this is a show of faith that we will. Movements like this, women like you, women like me, that come from all walks of life, have to stand together to fight people like Kavanaugh. Because people like Kavanaugh want nothing but to steal, kill, and destroy the American dream. And that has nothing to do with Donald Trump. We stand here today in the hot sun, uncomfortable, because we want to prove that our discomfort now will be nothing more than the small reward when we finally get to say that Kavanaugh does not get this seat. And if he does, we'll be back. In the cold, with coats, to say the very same thing. I want to challenge you all. When you get a space like this, use it. When you're offered a chance to open your mouth and speak your stories for people who may not have the courage to do so. Do not waste their time for the sake of being political. Give them something they can use, because this fight is not one that we can win alone. So allow me to let you know that I am with you. My sisters, I am with you. My trans sisters, I am with you. My black sisters, I am with you. My white sisters, I am with you. My Latina sisters, I am with you. Kavanaugh has got to go. Hey, hey.
one of you for being here today. And I would like to have you turn around and tell your sisters and your brothers, thank you for being here. Without you being here, we wouldn't be here. Tell them thank you. Now bend your knees, because it's very important when it's hot out here. Yes, I just found that out. So I would like to say, Lisa Murkowski, my friend, please vote no. 70% of Alaskans are demanding a no vote. Natives need for her to vote no. She will not ever be Senator of Alaska again if she votes yes. So, thank you very much, and can I hear from my Alaskan brothers and sisters out there?
We're almost done, people. Give it up to Shauna Thomas, co-founder of Ultraviolet. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here, for still being here. Not just for me as a survivor and as a co-founder of this organization, Ultraviolet, but for millions of people across the country, your presence, your willingness to stand up here and tell the Senate how you need them to vote on your behalf is giving us life, and I'm grateful to you. We believe survivors, this should be a fact that is shared by, and is in fact a fact that is shared by the vast majority of Americans who have made Kavanaugh the least popular nominee in history. This is the minority view. People are with us. The minority view is sitting among the Republicans in the Senate right now who are actively considering not just letting this guy continue to be a judge at all, which should be the question in front of us, but to have a lifetime appointment on the Supreme Court. It's shameful. It's disgusting. Our president, I don't need to remind anyone, is a man who brags about sexually assaulting women, and now he is trying to put another sexual predator on the courts. Nearly 2 years ago, we watched as the Washington Post released this video of him talking about bragging about being a sexual predator on the Access Hollywood tapes. That's why we're showing it on repeat on the mall today. I don't recommend standing in front of it too long. It is as disturbing as you remember it. But it is supposed to serve as a reminder of who's leading us right now. Who is leading the Republican Party right now? This is who they're standing with. This is the person who has nominated Judge Kavanaugh. This is the person who has hamstrung an investigation designed to protect Kavanaugh, because sexual predators stick together. Well, so do survivors. Together, we are going to stop Kavanaugh. We are going to make sure survivors' voices are heard. And any senator who votes to confirm Kavanaugh, we see you. We see your betrayal of women, of survivors, of your own constituents. And we will not forget. This fight is only just beginning. Thank you. Give it up to Shauna. So we have to always close the program out strong. And then we're going to have some instructions for all of you. I want to give it up to a young, powerful young woman, because we always say the young are our future, but in fact the young are our present right now. And not only in this movement do we fight for the young, but the young are fighting for us. So I want to introduce to you, and I'm so honored and blessed for all of you to meet this young, brilliant woman. Please give it up to Madison Thomas, who's one of the ambassadors for the Women's March Youth Empower program, because we are not a march, we are not an organization without these young people. So give it up for Madison Thomas. No relation to Shauna Thomas, but this is what you need to listen to right now. You ready? You ready, Madison?
Thanks, Linda. Can I keep it? Okay, great, yeah. My name is Madison Thomas. I'm a member of Women's March Youth Empower, and I'm also a young college student, not many years older than Dr. Christine Blasey Ford was at the time of her assault. I am also a survivor. When I watched the hearings last week, I was devastated. What the hearings told me was that our country, our congressmen value the reputation and career aspirations of my male classmates, of men, of my assaulter, more than my bodily autonomy. That their futures are inherently worth more than mine. And I refuse to believe that. That's right. But this is the message that Congress is sending young girls all across our country right now, that if they come forward with their stories, if they share their truth, they will be ridiculed. And they're telling young boys that they won't be held accountable for their actions and that they can have fun at the expense of women. I saw and felt a lot of pain last week, a resurgence of my own pain and the pain of thousands of women rocked by Dr. Christine Blasey Ford's testimony. But I also saw a lot of hope in my male classmates expressing disgust at how she was treated, and in my fellow resistors here in the Capitol protesting at the Senate. I saw hope that we can take back the country, take back our values, stand for what we believe in, stand together as survivors. Youth across this country want Congress to know, want Congress to reflect our values, and we're outraged. And right now we will turn our outrage into action, our action into a vote, and our vote into change. So Congress, take heed. The youth are rising, women are rising, and we believe women. Thank you.
Madison for president. Does that sound good? All right, so let me tell you what's up right now. We were about to do a direct action on the steps of the Capitol, which is our Capitol. We pay for it with our taxpayer dollars, but they're so afraid of your power that the police went and barricaded the entire Capitol building. Hold on, hold on, hold on. But what they don't know is that women got plan B, C, D, E, and Z. I got about 100 plans in my pocket, so that's okay. Y'all can barricade what you need to barricade. You are powerful, you are effective, you are strong, and they are afraid of your power. Now, the instructions are, I need all of you to head towards the Hart Atrium. Now, you can go in through the Dirksen building, the Russell building, any building. But I need you to flood those buildings and meet me in the Hart Atrium.